Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. We need your support, so if you like what we do, please support us by joining our Patreon page. Visit our partner pureatbowling.com and use the special code TAMER when making a purchase to be entered into a monthly drawing. I want to thank Limerick Bowl for their support. If you're in the area, don't forget to visit Limerick Bowl in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Hey Tamer Bowling fans, today we are testing the colorful new Motiv Forge Fire. First impressions, the Forge Fire looks heavy rolling but angular. I kind of need to study this a bit more to figure out what I have here. Overall, I gave the Forge Fire a B- on house shot. This is interesting, and what I first saw, I wasn't quite sure what to make of. Well, the most obvious feature of the Forge Fire is angularity. There's no shortage of that. The second is that it does have a bit of that lumbering, heavy, early rolling feel. So what does combining these characteristics do for this ball? I'm not 100% certain yet. For house, it's nice to get angularity so you can increase your entry angles. What I saw was probably an exacerbated angularity. So combine an angular ball with high axis rotation, which I have, and you get a lot of 8-pins. Nevertheless, once I cut the axis rotation down a touch, I can take full advantage of that down lane move for a really good carry. The Fire really reminds me of the United Revolt. Heavy rolling ball that still has aggressive axis transition or migration. And then with that, I think it'll lead to some limitations in that the situation has to be right to use the Forge Fire. The heavy roll adds control on tougher shots, angularity helps on house shots, so early days it's hard to tell if there will be lots of situations where both will be absolutely efficient. I'm only spending time talking about it because these are both prominent characteristics of the Forge Fire. And this combination worked well in the United Revolt in some unique situations where it was really the only thing that worked. Compared to the original Forge, for me, you can see very similar overall strength, but whereas the Fire seems almost hook set, the Forge has a smooth, rounded, booming move that I believe makes it a little more versatile. Shawn was next, has higher rev rate obviously and less axis rotation. What's interesting is while the Forge seemed to really go sideways with my higher axis rotation, it really set and rolled earlier with much less angularity for Shawn with his rotation. So the hook set characteristic is still prominent, but the ball rolled very forward for Shawn. So he was playing fairly direct, well over an arrow straighter than I was. To take advantage of that heavy roll, he cut down his angle significantly. It's a little difficult to tell why it was tricky to use, but this is part of why I have to take it all in to understand and rate the ball. It is a walled up house shot, which can play tricky sometimes. The other thing is that realistically, this is a strong ball, and likely a bit too strong for this medium house shot, especially for someone with Shawn's game. Obviously, patterns will play different from day to day, so having something when it plays a little slicker is always a good idea. Bryan absolutely loves his Forge, so he had high hopes for the Fire. Straight out of the gate, he was able to easily find the pocket and see the delta where the Fire turns a bit quicker in its hook phase. Bryan had a good look taking advantage of that angularity. What's interesting is what happened as the lanes transitioned. So as the fronts started to go, the ball didn't hook early, it kind of stopped hooking. So it was clearly burning up, and it just lost axis more quickly and rolled out. He tried to move in and really didn't have as much success doing that. So there was a wall there. I did not see that issue in my testing. In fact, I kind of wished it would stop a little sooner. So he started getting flat hits, lost entry angle. Comparing the original Forge, it was a little soft from the same spot. He moved right and was able to see that much smoother motion out of the Forge. Overall, he felt like the Forge Fire played stronger than the Forge. Final thoughts. With the Forge Fire, Motiv offered a ball that can be angular in heavier conditions. We had 3 testers who each saw a different ball reaction. The one absolute is the low RG core got into a roll pretty early or hard for everyone. How much down lane motion seemed to vary by the bowler style. It definitely differentiates itself from everything else in the lineup, offers a look no other Motiv ball currently offers. So there you have it, the Motiv Forge Fire.
need to tell you to attend my birthday party reviews.